Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we will learn about complex numbers. I'll write the definition for complex number first. Okay, any number of the form z is equals to x plus iy, where x and y are real numbers and root I is equals to root 1 is called complex number. Okay, here the number x is called the real part of complex number, and denoted by r of z. Okay, and the number y is called the real part, the imaginary part of complex number. Okay, and it is denoted by, and it is denoted by imaginary z. Okay, one more thing to note, when this I, okay, I square is minus 1 plus 1. Okay, I square, see, I is equals to root of minus 1. So if we square I square, this root goes, I square is equals to plus 1. The value of I is minus 1. Okay, and I cube is equals to minus 1. I, the value of I square is equals to minus 1. Okay, this you have to remember. Value of I square means it is minus 1, because I, see here, I is equals to root of minus 1. When you square this I, this root goes and only minus 1 is remaining. So I square means minus 1. This you have to note very clearly. Now I will show you the algebra of complex number. Okay, algebra of complex numbers. What is this? Okay, if z1 is equals to x plus iy, here x1 y1, and z2 is equals to x2 plus iy2, then first step, addition. How do we add these complex numbers? Okay, addition, z1 plus z2 is equals to, just write x1, just add the real parts, x1 plus x2, you take this I outside, add the imaginary parts, y1 plus y2. This is the step to add. Okay, second, subtraction. We have to add the real parts, you have to add the imaginary parts. That's all. Subtraction. Okay, z1 minus z2. Here what you should do, just subtract the real parts. X1 minus x2. Okay, you just write I y1 minus y2. That's all. Okay, multiplication. See, subtraction z1 minus z2. Subtract real parts x1 minus x2, then subtract the imaginary parts y1 minus y2. Okay, next multiplication. Multiplication of complex numbers. Okay, z1 into z2 means x1 plus I y1 into x2 plus I y2. How do you multiply this? Just you write like this. Multiply this x1 to this. x1 x2 plus I x1 y2. First you multiply x1 to both of these, x2 and I y2. Okay, next multiply I y1 with x2 and I y2. Okay, I x2 y1 plus I into I is I square, y1 into y2. Okay, what we will write, x1 x2 plus I x1 y2 plus I x2 y2. Here I square means minus 1. I square is equals to minus 1. So in place of I square we will put minus 1. So plus into minus, minus. The sign becomes minus here. So y1 y2. Okay, now take the real parts to one side. x1 x2 minus y1 y2 plus, take I outside, x1 y2, okay, plus x2 y, x2 y 1. This is 1. Okay, so multiplication of complex, when you multiply two complex numbers, you should just write like this, x1 x2 minus y1 y2 plus I x1 y2 plus x2 y1. This 1 x1 x2 you should write it carefully, otherwise you will get the answer wrong. That you should be careful. And signs plus minus, that also you should be very careful, you should write. Also I'll show you one thing. If k is a real number, then k into z1, what do we get? K into z1, which is equals, just multiply z. What is z? x1 plus I y1. What you should just, you should multiply k with these terms. K x1 plus I k y1. This you should write it like this. K z1 is equals to k x1 plus I k y1. Just multiply the real and imaginary parts. Now we will do the division of complex numbers. How I will show you. Z1 by Z2 is equals to x1 plus I y1. You should be very careful while writing x1 y1 x2 y2, otherwise you will get the wrong answer. Y2. Okay, here what you write this question like this: x1 plus I y1 divided by x2 plus I y2. To simplify this, what to do? You should just rationalize the denominator. Okay, that means you should write the denominator, this denominator term you just write the question, write this denominator term here, but sign changes. That is we will call as rationalizing. X2 minus I y2. Just change the sign and write the same term. Then we will call that method, we will call it as rationalizing the denominator. Okay, now multiply x1 x2 minus I x1 y2. Okay, plus now I x2, first we should write always x term then y1. Okay, plus into minus is minus, I into I is I square, y1 into y2. Okay, here we have got one formula in algebra: a plus b into a minus b is equals to a square minus b square. This formula will apply here. This is a plus b, a minus b. The terms are same, only the signs are different. So a plus b into a minus b is equals to a square. So we can write just x2 whole square minus I y2 whole square. Okay. x1 x2 minus I x1 y2 plus I x2 y1. Here minus I square means minus 1. So minus 1 into minus is plus. This becomes y1 y2. Okay. Here x2 whole square. Here also I square means minus 1. Minus 1 into minus is plus. So y2 square. Next, what is your next step? Write the real parts. x1 x2 plus y1 y2. Okay, plus take the I outside. Okay, now write, this is positive sign, so you write the positive sign number first, that is x2 y1 minus x1 y2 whole divided by x2 square plus y2 square. Okay, now we will write lastly z1 divided by z2 is equals to real part. How do we separate real and imaginary part? See, I'll show you. x1 x2 y1 y2 divided by x2 square plus y2 square plus, this is imaginary part, this is real part, x2 y1 minus x1 y2 whole divided by x2 square plus y2 square. This is the method. There are problems in complex number. I'll show you in the next video how to solve the problems in complex number. Okay, I hope you understood the basic methods of complex numbers, how to do addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Okay, thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe my channel. I'll show you how to solve the complex number problems in the next video.